And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, "If you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout." And today we're currently featuring over 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where you can celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting, a 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is I have the actual audio masters from all along the way, over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio documentaries. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Now the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also on this selector is our local receiver audio. And today, our local receiver is running 3 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed at 0 degrees, one aimed at 90 degrees, and the number 3 is aimed at 134 degrees. In addition, 2 of the 3 may be rotated separately. They are selected by a 6-position rotary selector. Also today, on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you'll protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you'll reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their band pass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. And now let's check in and see if Charlie K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Border. Charlie, got a copy? Yes, Jim, I have a very Q5 copy. There's a lot of static Queen Roger Nancy on frequency. It's partly sunny out, very hazy, and the temperature is 76 degrees on this Friday, the 5th of August, 2022. Are you copying okay, and are you using Milford, Pennsylvania? Go ahead.
I'm using a New York, Charlie, New York, and it's sounding about 25 over.
Yeah, New York, and it's sounding about 25 over. Okay, I guess you're getting me in Rochester. This is recorded a little over a week ago. Captain Mike in his Boeing, not in his, but in the company's Boeing 767 two-engine jet, and he was over Springfield, Illinois, where I did live for a while, around 1943, when my dad was in the FBI in World War II. But anyway, here's Captain Mike over Springfield, Illinois.
Sure, K1GZL, KX4 Whiskey Charlie over
Wait a minute.
We should be on the ramp in Sacramento. So, good copy on your 59 plus here at minus 44 degrees. Nice and warm up here today. K1GZL, KX4 Whiskey Charlie. Haven't heard myself that clear before, so big difference with that mine noise being gone there. So, great copy on you there. And I got news today. Katie texted me and said she's ready to take her exam, ready for the big exam on the extra. So
Okay, that acted up in the beginning of that. I apologize for the cable acted up, but I think you caught most of it, I hope. Yeah. KC9VKV, K1GZL, of course, recording you, receiving you direct, as I don't have an SDR capability here. Did you copy okay, Jim? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I finally went back to Milford, and Milford was seemed to be about 10 degrees hotter than New York, so we wrote it out in Milford, and the static, you were totally dominant over the static. No static at all, Roger?
Dominant over the static. No static at all, Roger.
Okay, that is nice to know. That is nice to know. Okay, Jim, look, I'll sign with you here and hopefully catch you next Friday, so that should be about the 12th. That should be about the 12th, or maybe I've got the dates mixed up, but we should copy you next Friday. However, I'll be talking, hopefully, to Captain Mike on Wednesday morning. He'll be flying from Sacramento to Philadelphia, Sacramento, California, to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and we'll possibly catch him also on the ramp, on the ground, after he had landed in Philadelphia. Thanks again, Jim, always, and keep up the good work. Keep up the good work with the work you're doing, trying to help our fellow amateurs with the equipment and also new equipment. And KC9VKV, K1GZL, Clarksville, Northern New Hampshire. Always a pleasure, Jim.
Roger, Charlie, 73 up that way, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend coming up. And we'll see you next Friday. This is the KC9VKV Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, better known in some circles as Dr. VKV, and we're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in the series, regardless of what YouTube says. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. You'll have to check it out, KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. So without further ado, now let's open it up. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. 8 Papa Kilo, portable 8, over.
The portable 8 station, come back and tell me in about 10 seconds where your antenna system, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path. Roger?
A better path. Roger?
I'm on Lake St. Clair, right? Lake St. Michigan, and the antenna is just halfway, not very high. I wasn't even sure if you were going to be able to hear me. I'm on only 10 watts. 10 watts. Over.
Roger, Portable. You say you're 10 watts?
Portable, you say you're 10 watts?
Roger.
All right, Portable, tell you what, why don't you come back again? I'm on Milford PA SDR. Come back again and give me your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Sure, it's November 8, November 8, portable, in St. Clair Shores, Michigan, right on the shore of the big Lake St. Clair, and name here is Papa Alpha Tango, short
Roger, Pat. Let's see, N8 PK. You're up in Michigan, and what kind of a portable radio are you running, sir?
Just noticed that my new X6100, the power for some reason slipped down to only 5 watts. Now I'm at the 10 watt position. That's as high as I can go on this X6100. I wonder if you wouldn't mind a signal report, please. Over.
Well, let's see. I'm only copying you on the Milford PA SDR, and you seem to be about 3 or 4 dB over that SDR's noise level. Of course, though, they seem to be having a lightning storm at the moment, so sometimes the lightning bursts do catch up with you, Roger.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just tickled that I could make the East Coast or wherever the SDR antenna is located. Over.
Yes, so the antenna is a Milford, Pennsylvania SDR. Milford, Pennsylvania SDR. And we are running actually 4 Internet SDR receivers at the moment. We're running Georgia, Rochester, Milford, and Arlington. And in addition to, we're running 3 10-foot vertical loops at my location, direct, which is down around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville. But the main station that I'm copying you on now is Milford, Pennsylvania SDR. Roger?
Oh, thank you. That's quite the setup you're describing. How long has this system been up?
Oh, gosh, we've been on the air for about 6 years. Every Friday afternoon between 3:30 and 5, we record the whole thing and then upload it to YouTube by noon tomorrow. And so if you want to hear your mighty 5 watts or 10 watts, or I'm not sure where you are at the moment, but if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. This will be cut number 1 in a series of 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Roger?
That's a very interesting and valuable service. Thank you very much. Over.
Roger. What we normally do is assist folks in their transmitter setups. We have a generic setup procedure that we take a normal 10 dB dynamic range, 30% modulation transmitter, and when it's finished from our setup procedure, it's then a 3 dB dynamic range, 80 to 85% modulation transmitter, drastically improved audio. Roger.
Roger. And your name is James or Jim?
Yes, sir. Juliet, India Mike, Jim, and the call again is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Gosh, like I say, you're sounding really good there. I wish I had a better copy on you, but Mother Nature is throwing those thunderbolts around, Roger.
Be careful, Jim. Well, I'll tell you, I guess you're well protected, however. But you are 5'9 plus. 5'9 plus. And a little small battery-operated QRP portable. So thank you very much. Over.
Roger. And just for your information, Pat, your audio curve is just perfect. Your articulation EQ is just very good to copy, and your modulation level is right on target. So that's you've set that little mighty mite up just perfectly, Roger.
Well, thank you, Jim.
I guess I'll have to visit you guys more often. I'm just visiting out here. My home QTH is Sykesville, Maryland. And I'll have to check out that recording tomorrow afternoon. So thank you for the service. This is November 8, Papa Kilo. November 8, Papa Kilo, Portable 8.
Roger, Roger, Pat. And that last transmission, you were a good 10 dB over the noise level at Milford. So just a beautiful recording. I think you'll love it. 73, sir. Job well done. I salute you. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 9 Romeo Golf Mike.
There's a Whiskey 9 Romeo Golf Mike. Is that a Roger?
Romeo Golf Mike, is that a Roger?
Yeah, that's a Roger. Whiskey 9 Romeo Golf Mike. Name is Ron here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Over to you, Jim.
Roger, Roger. Ron, 73 this afternoon. What radio are you running, sir?
Good afternoon. What radio are you running, sir?
Well, I'm actually running an old Kenwood 570. It's probably almost 30 years old, but still works beautifully. We have a 440 backup, and I hardly ever use it, Jim. By the way, if Pat is still listening, we were copying him here perfectly when he was running 10 watts. No problem at all. It got better, with more power, but we were copying him Q5 all the way when he was running his 10 watts. So that's working fine. And Jim, you're in the plus area over 9 somewhere. I'll have to look a little bit closer. Back to you.
Roger, Roger. Ron, your radio really sounds nice. Again, the EQ curve is nice and bright, very understandable, and you look to be about a 3 dB dynamic range, which is right on target. So I think you'll like your recording, Roger.
Yeah, Roger on that. We're using the same KFEF web SDR. I used that for years and always thought it was the best of the bunch. But the problem is, in the last 3 or 4 weeks now, there's been no audio. I know it has to do with my system. I'm still on an old Windows 7 laptop, but I've noticed that the audio, the wavefall is still working fine, but there's just no audio coming through at all. So I've noticed some of the other web SDRs, you have to hit a special button now to receive the audio, but there is no such designation on the KFEF web SDR in Pennsylvania. So I missed that. I'm sorry that my system just isn't working with it any longer, and I think that was to be expected, maybe because of my old Windows 7. So any comments on that, Jim? KC9VKV W9RGM.
Roger, Roger, Ron. I haven't noticed any difference. Like I say, we run 4 Internet SDR receivers. I use Amazon Fire tablets, 4 Fire tablets for my receivers, and take the audio out into a 6-position rotary switch. So I can just zing, and also my local audio from my local receivers on that rotary switch. So I can just zoom through those, those positions in about a second, and listen to those 4 SDRs on my local receivers, find out which one is hottest. I haven't noticed any difference in the operation. There is a chevron on the SDRs. There's 3 of them that I know. One is marked AGC, one is marked audio, and the other's some kind of W6 something. I'm not sure what that is. But on the audio chevron, there is an audio output control that might have gotten turned down. So when you go to that SDR and you open that chevron up, punch up the audio part to bring up the audio chevron, and take a look at your volume control there and see if it might have gotten turned down, Roger.
Yeah, Okay, Jim, thank you. We'll check it, but I think it's worse than that. I think they're using some kind of new system because I'm seeing the same thing on a similar website that uses the same what am I trying to say? The same setup, I guess, as the now there's another web SDR in Georgia. And that one works fine, but you do have to hit a special button that says audio here, press here for audio. And the one in Kensington apparently does not work anymore because that also uses the same format, that's the word I was looking for, as the one in Pennsylvania. But something they're doing is different because I'm using the same, I've been listening to it for years, Jim. So I really don't know what they've changed, but it just is no longer compatible with the audio. The video part's fine. The waveform is there, everything's rolling as expected, but there is no audio coming through whatsoever. And when you go down to the computer audio, you see there is nothing in the system at all. The other websites are working just fine, but they've added a new button, like I said, a new icon that you have to click on to get audio. The Pennsylvania one does not have that icon, and maybe they're not even aware of the problem. I don't know. But yeah, I've been using it for a long time. It's my favorite web SDR, so I was very disappointed when that happened. But I have such an old computer, and like I said, Windows 7. I suppose I should expect trouble at this point, Jim. Well, thanks for listening to me, and you're sounding great out here in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Jim. RGM.
Roger, Ron. Well, gosh, yeah, when in doubt, Google it. When in doubt, Google it. So you might Google the difficulties of receiving that SDR unit and see what comes up. Or, just make a general inquiry as to audio problems with Internet SDR receivers of late. It's amazing what Google knows. I've asked Google a 6-part question. It used to be you would just ask a 2-part question or maybe a 3, but I have actually been asking you the 6-part questions and amazingly getting good answers, Roger.
Yeah, I use it often, Jim. We usually never have a problem, so we'll look into it further, but I'm sure there's a reason for it somewhere, because like I say, the other ones are working, no change at all. So it's just the Pennsylvania one and the one in Kensington. I'm not sure what state that's in, but that's the other one I use. So, anyway, we'll continue to pursue it. So anyway, I'll let you get on with it, Jim. Thanks a lot for your time today. And you are just a little bit over S9, S9 plus 5, let's say. So excellent signal out here. I am running about 400 watts, Jim, to be honest with you, with an Ameritron 811, the old Kenwood transceiver. So there you go. KC9VKV RGM.
Roger, Ron. We're running a Heathkit SB220 right at a kilowatt. So, it's one of those days. I usually run that as a net control. Somebody's got to have control over the net. And if you come up with 100 watts and try to control a net, you're going to be in trouble because conditions just normally are not that good. So anyway, Ron, like I say, we are recording. So if you want to hear your radio, if you go to YouTube, do a call in or search Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So 73, Ron, we'll catch you later. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 7 Charlie Alpha.
There's a Whiskey 7 station. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Yes, Whiskey 7 Charlie Sierra Alpha. Whiskey 7 Charlie Sierra Alpha.
Roger, Charlie Sierra Alpha, and what's the name there?
Charlie Sierra Alpha, and what's the name
Yes, sir, Robert. And what radio are you running today, sir?
Sir, Robert, and what radio are you running today, sir? I got a Yaesu 3000 with a Hall Beyond Station 1, and I'm pushing about 400 watts through a Yaesu Quadra.
Roger, Robert. Okay, why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system so I can look around and see if I can find us a better path. Roger?
Look around and see if I can find us a better path. Roger? And it is oriented to the northeast to the southwest. In my backyard running through smoke trees. But I also got a 160 antenna running east and west and an 80 meter running east and west. And then I've got a MFJ cobweb up on the roof of my house in the middle of it on the chimney. And it covers 20 meters through 10. Over.
Roger, Robert. I've got you on my local antenna. I'm running three 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas plus my resonant dipole antenna, and I'm copying you best on my dipole antenna now. You're about 10 over at the moment. If you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you making sure that you're in the wide transmit mode, 100 to 2900. Roger. The other settings, the lesser settings, do diminish the top end of the audio spectrum, and obviously we need all of that for intelligibility. So once we are in the making sure we're in that 100 to 2900 wide mode, then move to your compressor on and add a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100 depending on how you're labeled there for your compressor input. Roger?
All right, yeah, it's, I believe it goes from 1 to 10, I believe.
Alrighty, so you want to be in a 3?
Yeah, you have to give me just a second. I'm going to have to, I had to reassign the knob on this radio that did the compressor to the power. Oh, I forgot. I got a Hookaham Radio Deluxe. I can do it that way. Hold on. All right. I'm on a 3 now.
Alrighty, so then let's move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, say it, but don't really stress it. Just say it like you would say any other word in a QSO. As you say that word, be looking at your ALC meter and adjust your mic gain until the ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3.
Audio. Let me ask you a question. When you say 2/3, there's what it is on this meter, there's a narrow blue line going all the way to the end, and then below that, there's a thick blue line that runs about halfway up that scale. So what you're telling me, you want me to get to about 2/3 of that thick blue indicator when I'm saying audio, right?
Yes, sir. In other words, you have a certain travel length for your meter reading there, and other meter readings may go further down further to the right, but your ALC runs, maybe half of that. So you want to, then that is your full ALC reading though, so you don't want to exceed that. You want to just go from halfway, the midpoint, to 2/3 of that the meter allocation for ALC.
All right, audio. Yeah, it's this mic gain's not very linear, that's for sure. But that audio, that looks like that done it.
Yeah, that looks like about 3 dB. So once we get that, then move to your EQ page, Roger.
Give me just a second here, because this
There's a big menu here with all the EQs. Hold on. All right, I'm there. There's two EQs on this, one with the processor and one without. I went ahead and moved to the one with the processor.
Yes, sir. Now, what kind of equalizer is that? Is that a 3-band?
It's yes, a parametric EQ. I guess it's got 3 bands on it.
All righty. We want to make sure that the mid-range EQ is flat. Mid-range EQ is plus or minus 0, flat. Roger?
All right. Yeah, I'm not sure this one will do that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure that. I'm not really sure how to tell whether it's flat, because like in the mid-range part, it's got like 100, -3, and 7 is what I've got it set there now.
All right, your 7 is probably your width for that parametric, so it doesn't make any difference where the width is, because we want to take the intensity to a 0, neither cut nor boost. Roger?
Okay, yeah, hold on a sec. All right, that setting there, as low as it'll go is 700, then it's off. You want me to turn it off?
No, not the frequency. Take the frequency back to 1K. The frequency back to 1K. What I'm talking about is, how many controls do you have for your mid-range?
Yeah, for each, for like the lows, mid, and highs, I got 3. I've got a frequency, a level, and a bandwidth.
Yes, sir. Okay, so on your level, you want that flat. Flat reading, no cut or boost on level. Roger?
Okay, roger that. I got it set on 0 now.
All right, now let's go to the top end. That should be 2.7K. Is that a Roger?
Well, it's set on 3200 right now.
All right, pull that to 2.7K.
Roger that. I got it on 2.7 now.
All right, sir, and a width of 4. Width of 4.
All right, got that. Width of 4.
And a +3 click boost from where you are. +3 click boost from where you are.
All right, yeah, well, the level goes to 10, and that's what I've got it set on.
All right, so you were like a 7 before, then we add 3?
No, I haven't changed it because it was already sitting on 10.
All righty. Let's see. Why don't you give me about 10 seconds and tell me the best thing you like about your radio?
Yeah, okay, W7CSA. Well, the best thing I like about the radio is it's got 3 antenna outputs, and that allowed me to, well, it's before I had the amp. Well, I'll tell you what I like best about the amp, because what I like best about the radio before, it had 3 antenna outputs and a receive output. I can pick up an external SDR. But what I like best about this amp is it's got 2 radio inputs, 4 antenna outputs. So, and I have 4 antennas, so before I was having to run, I ran my 160 and 80 on an external switch and ran it to antenna output 1. But with the amp now, I just got all 4 of them plugged in, so I don't have to use an external switch. And all I got to do is just hit the band buttons, and everything automatically switches. Over.
Roger. So, Robert, how close are you working? That's a desk mic, and how close are you working it?
Probably about 3 fingers away.
I would add 1 inch to that. I would add another inch to that, just a little bit further back. That will help boost your top end and also minimize your any mouth noises. Roger?
All right, yeah, I've moved back about another inch. How's that?
Yes, sir. Now I want you to go back to your ALC with mic gain in hand and run that word audio and reset your level for mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, here we go. Did you say to set it about mid-scale?
Mid-scale to 2/3, just a little bit more than mid-scale. Roger?
All right, audio. How's that?
All righty, now I want you to tell me what you like best about your microphone.
Oh, well, I just like the way it looks. And I have taken it out and used it on, did some recording with it, external from my radio, and just the overall sound quality was really good. But I guess I'll tell you one thing I dislike about it is that the low end is pretty thick on this, so you do have to EQ the low end out.
All right, Robert, I'm on my local antenna, and I'm good down to 100 cycles. So what I want you to do is go down to the bottom end, your bass EQ, and that should be on 200 width of 4. 200 width of 4. Is that a Roger?
No, actually, it's on a 100 right now with a width of 1.
All right, take it to 200 width of 4.
All right, 77 CSA, I've got that set now.
All right, I want you to go 3 clicks boost from where you are on that bass control. 3 clicks boost, a level on 200 cycles with a 4 bandwidth, and let me hear you.
Okay, you said a 3-click boost?
3-click boost, Roger, on 200 cycles with a 4 width.
All right, roger that. Yeah, it was on -10, now it's on -7.
All righty, and so why don't you give me 10 seconds on what you think about amateur radio?
Oh, I love amateur radio. I've always wanted to get into pretty much most of my life. I think I was about 10 years old, but I actually didn't get into it until I was about 47. But yeah, most of all I like about it, I just like talking about. Yeah, most of all I like about it, I just like talking on the radio and talking to people. Yeah, other than that, you run into those everywhere in daily life. You just have to know and go all the settings straight, whatever appropriate at the time. And I guess one of the other things I just like playing around with technical things, figuring out problems. So you always have that
Roger, Robert. Now I want you to do something here for the next little while. I want you to pull out your ALC meter and watch it as you're transferring. You got to have something to do with your eyes, so just leave your ALC meter out for the next week or so, and be watching it as you speak, and try to keep that ALC meter in the sweet spot. Concentrate on keeping that meter in the sweet spot over the next couple of weeks and actually develop a relationship with your ALC meter, and soon you'll find that you can just nail that meter and keep it right on the sweet spot. Roger?
All right, yeah, I see what you're saying. Just, well, it's kind of like when you get a new pair of glasses. You have to wear wherever the magnification is. in them. So you just watch your ALC meter, and you'll know how to articulate your voice and keep that thing in the right place instead of overdrive. Yeah, I see what you're talking about. So I guess I'll have to turn my mic a little bit so that I'm looking directly at my radio when I speak. But I'm usually looking at my computer screen.
Yeah, Roger. Now, and just out of curiosity, what is your mic setting now? Your mic gain setting, what is it right at the moment?
It's on 15.
All right, just take it up to 25 for a minute. I want to hear you at a little higher level. So take it up to 25.
All right, yeah, this is at 25. And, you know, I'm not really seeing much difference on the ALC meter movement with this. And I've noticed that with this mic gain control on this radio, it's not very linear. It's like when you get down to around 10, like 10, 11, or 12, it jumps real big. It'll go where you hardly see any movement at all. But I know before before I called you, I had it sitting at about 32.
Yeah, try that. Run it up to 32, and let me hear you at that level. You're still, you're looking better and better, so run it up to 32, and let me see what it is.
All right, yeah, it's W7 CSA, and now it is sitting at 32.
Yes, sir. I would run it just like that. You just sound magnificent. Before, your level was, shifting, but not because of, RF shifting, incoming level, RF level shifting. It was in your audio that you were actually, your transmitter was actually reflecting that. So I think now you're going to be about 3 dB dynamic range in your transmit audio, and I think that's exactly where you need to be.
All right, hey, thanks for that down in Florida. Yeah, Florida sounded good coming up here, too. All right, Jim, hey, thanks a lot, man. Good to talk to you again, and I'll be sure to go out tomorrow and listen to the recording. But, yeah, I'm going to go, if everything's good, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and let somebody else get in, because I do need to get back over here and do some work. I got something to finish up here before 5 o'clock, but, all right, and thanks for doing that and for doing this for everybody out here, too. So, yeah, it helps a lot of people out. But that's W7 CSA, and I'm going to say 733, and you have a good weekend.
Roger, Robert, 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And again, we'll have this uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So just do a call and a search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. It'll take you there. This will be cut number 1, 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
I think there was an Allentown station in there. Station, I think there was an Allentown station. Come back and try it again, sir.
Whiskey Alpha 8, Uniform, November, Lima.
Uniform, November, Lima. Come back slowly with your call sign one more time, please, sir.
Yes, the call sign, Whiskey Alpha, number 8, Uniform, November, Lima, Washington, America, number 8, Uniform, November, Lima, Michigan. Over.
Roger, Uniform, November, Lima. What I want you to do, sir, is check your frequency. I think you might be slightly off frequency. We're on 7188.00. 71.8800, sir.
71.8800, sir.
Okay, we're operating in a transceive mode with an older Drake R4B and a T4XB, so, and I've got it on the receive VFO but apparently they don't lock in perfectly here. So I'm probably a good KC off, it sounds like. So I'm not quite sure which way to go, but I am curious to hear what the audio sounds like. It's an old boat anchor rig I just picked up yesterday, and cleaning it up.
Please, sir, the frequency is in use. Please, frequency is in use. Uniform November Lima. So you want to operate at 1 KC high?
Yeah, if we could do that, I'd like to leave this VFO set where it is if that's possible. I'm curious to hear what the audio sounds like. It's an old F-static 10DA mic and a...
Frequency is in use. Frequency is in use.
Old Drake T4XC and receiving an R4B. Maybe running about 70, 80 watts into a dipole at 35 feet. The name is Mark in Plymouth, Michigan. KC9VKV, WA8UNL.
Roger, UNL. Well, outside of sounding like Donald Duck, everything is fine.
Donald Duck. Everything is fine. He's coming in around 175, Jim.
UNL, do you got a copy there, sir?
UNL, do you got a copy there, sir?
Yeah, I copy you just fine. I've been listening here probably for about a half hour or so, so I understand I'm not quite on your frequency. I'm hearing you fine, but I got it at about 7.186 to 187 here, so, and obviously I'm a little bit off, but I'm not quite sure which way I would want to go, so I'm just curious to see what it sounded like. If there's a recording, I'll take a look, and I'm sorry if I'm a bit off frequency. Like I said, it's still a job of cleaning this whole thing up. So appreciate your report, and you have a good day. KC9VKV, WA8UNL in Plymouth, Michigan. Over.
Roger, Mark. Well, gosh, 73, sir. You are like at least one click high, I would think. Does sound Donald Duckish, but we have a recording of it, so if that'll help you out, fine. 73, Mark, and we'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Like that? If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Uniform Sierra Alpha.
Sierra Alpha Station, I think. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign.
Station, I think. Come back slowly, phonetically with your call sign. Roger. Kilowatt Alpha 4, the Uniform Sierra Alpha, Frank in Lexington, Kentucky, Roger.
Okay, Frank, I got Kilowatt Alpha 4, United Sierra. What was the rest?
Kilowatt Alpha 4, United Sierra. What was the rest? United States of America, USA, Uniform Sierra Alpha.
Uniform Sierra Alpha, Roger. What's the name there?
Uniform Sierra Alpha, Roger. What's the name there? That's Frank, Foxtrot Romeo Alpha November Kilo. We should make a trip of what kind of signal you got.
Well, I'm going through Milford right now. Why don't you give me 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system? Let me look around and see if I can find us a better path, Roger.
Let me look around and see if I can find us a better path, Roger. Roger. Okay. FCDXT. We're driving a FCDXT. And we're driving a ECOM amplifier. We're running about 700 or 800 watts. To an in-fit antenna up about 35 feet, sir. Roger.
Yes, sir, Frank. I found you down in Georgia at about 10 over on the Georgia SDR. If you'd be interested in a setup procedure, starts with you verifying that you're in the wide transmit bandpass mode, 100 to 2900, Roger. 100
to 2900, Roger. Yeah, your signal kind of dropped way down. I had you at an S9, but you dropped down to about a 5. I don't know if it was the what you done or the band shifting, but did you do something to change that there?
No, we're constantly transmitting on a no SWR resonant dipole antenna. We are constantly transmitting on that dipole. We are receiving on a multitude of different ways. We have 4 internet SDR receivers, plus 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, plus a no SWR resonant dipole antenna. Roger.
I've just about lost you. Like I said, you were 10 over. You're down to about a 4 or 5 or less. On got some noise in there with you. Did you on the antenna, or did you do something there?
No, we just have conditions. Propagation is moving around. Roger, Roger.
Propagation is moving around. Roger, Roger.
Roger. Somebody was a contact in there. Go ahead.
This is Kilo Delta 4 India, Quebec, KD4IQ.
Stand by, Kilo Delta 4. This is a controlled net. Frank, do you have a copy on me, or am I out of the ballpark down towards you?
Out of the ballpark down towards you.
You came back up then. You came back up. The audio come back in clean. It's not as good as it was when we first started our QSO, but just come in pretty good. I just wanted to see if you heard anything bad in the audio on my end there, Roger.
Well, it looks pretty good. You look like you do have about a between a 3 and a 4 dB dynamic range, which is just perfect. Like I said, we need to verify a couple of things if you'd be interested in, getting the best out of your radio, and that is to be sure that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode. 100 to 2900. Roger, Roger.
Mode 100 to 2900. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, I thought it was pretty decent, but I just wanted to make sure there. You said you could give us some kind of quality check, so it usually comes out pretty solid there, Roger.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And like I say, it looks like about a 3 to 4 dB dynamic range. The only thing I would suggest would be maybe in your EQ, a couple of clicks, more treble EQ for articulation purposes, plus 2 clicks additional treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
Additional treble EQ from where you are, Roger.
Roger, Roger. All right, we're not going to trouble you right now. We got some storms in the area, so I'm going to back out. But I appreciate you there, and thank you for the QSO and the comeback. 73s are KA4 USA Frank in Lexington, Kentucky.
Roger, Frank, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Frank, and what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running the DX10, FTDX10, and I'm using a ACOM amplifier.
Roger, Roger, Frank. Good. And we've got a recording of this. We'll post it up on YouTube by noon tomorrow. If you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, it will take you to this recording, which will be in cut number 1 of a series of 2200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Again, and we'll have it posted by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Recordings again, and we'll have it posted by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, Roger. Thank you, sir. Thank you, and like I said, the band's not doing the best in the world, so anyway, thank you again. 73, KA4 USA, Frank in Lexington, Kentucky.
Roger, Roger. Frank, I'm surprised we made contact. I'm up around Louisville. I'm just across the Ohio River from Louisville, over in Indiana. Roger, Roger.
The Ohio River from Louisville, over in Indiana. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger.
73, sir. This is KC9VKV. Now, there was a KD4 station in there. KD4 station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign. Sorry, station, you're just not quite strong enough. You're right in the noise of Milford, and that's the only copy I have. I'm only picking you up on the Milford SDR, and you're only about half a dB above the noise level Milford. Now, I just have a thought for you. Like I'm monitoring quite a large area of the United States here, plus my 3 local magnetic loop antennas, and you might think about maybe trying a different antenna, seeing if you might be able to get an antenna that is a little more efficient. And I would suggest a resonant dipole antenna. If you haven't tried one, a resonant dipole antenna will allow you to feed directly from your amplifier. You don't have to need a antenna tuner there, and it is a very efficient radiator, so maybe then I might be able to copy the mail on you. And I also admit that today is not a particularly good propagation day, so there it is. But again, with the amount of SDRs that we're running in the geographic locations that we're looking, I should be able to get some kind of copy on you, so think about that. I'll say 73 for now. Whiskey 8 Bravo Bravo Kilo, and if my signal comes up to you, you might try again before we wrap up at 5. But if it doesn't, then we'll be in the same situation. So I'll say 73 for now. We'll catch you later. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo.
November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo. And what's the name there?
November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo. And what's the name there?
This is Dave, Delta Alpha Victor Echo, and we're located in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Roger Dave in Michigan, and radio that you're running, sir. What is it?
Roger Dave in Michigan, and radio that you're running, sir. What is it?
It's an Elecraft K3S, and at the moment I'm using a KPA 500 amplifier.
Roger that, sir. Roger that. Well, if you would be interested in a setup procedure, it starts with you verifying that you're in the 100 to 2900 transmit band pass mode. Roger.
2900 transmit band pass mode. Roger.
Roger. I think it's actually 100 to 2800 as the crystal. I've got an 8-pole crystal filter here for that transmit filter. Go ahead.
Oh, really? So you can't run, you can't manually put in 2900, 100 to 2900?
You can't manually put in 2900, 100 to 2900?
No, the 8-pole crystal filter here is a 2800 hertz filter, and that's all she wrote.
Oh, Roger. Okay, then move to your compressor, and we're looking for a third of that compressor capability. So that would be a compressor on and a 3 out of 10 or a 30 out of 100, depending on how your compressor input control is labeled.
Depending on how your compressor input control is labeled.
This is November 8, Sierra Bravo Echo testing. It's kicking up around about a third to maybe a half of the compressor.
All right, so we're just looking for a third of that. So again, do you have an input control for that compressor, and how's it labeled?
Do you have an input control for that compressor, and how's it labeled?
Yeah, I can turn it down a little bit. That's actually probably a little bit too far. Let me boost it just a little bit. It was at a 20 level, and I just kicked it down to about 17, and now it's kicking up around about a third on the scale. Go ahead.
Alrighty, let's hold that for now. I'll tell you what, give me a key for 3. Don't say anything, just key for 3, and let me hear what your compressor's doing.
Don't say anything, just key for 3, and let me hear what your compressor's doing.
Alrighty, Dave. I think that's in good shape. So now let's move to your ALC with the mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, spoken just as you would speak any other word in a QSO, don't stress it, just say it. Stretch it out, audio. Adjust that with your mic gain until your ALC reading is mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Until your ALC reading is mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger, roger. Audio. And we'll crank the mic gain up just a little bit. Audio. Now it's around about 2/3. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, your EQ sounds just beautiful. You got plenty of top end, so the intelligibility is there. I wouldn't change that. I would say you're pretty much good to go. I would like to hear you do about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system.
About 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system.
Yes, okay, for sure. The antenna system here that I'm currently using is what was a dipole that was the tree taken out, and so now it is in taken out, and so now it is in a inverted V with a 90-degree angle between the two legs, and so one leg is pointed southwest, the other is pointed southeast. So I would say it's a directional V now, mainly pointed south from here. Go ahead.
Roger, Dave. Now, I seldom ever in my whole life have said that you might have too much top end. I'm always a top end guy, you know, but I'm just thinking that it sounds like you might be pushing the top pretty hard. At a lower frequency than what I would think might be applicable. So let's go to your EQ page if you have just a moment, and we'll see what you got here. Roger?
Just a moment, and we'll see what you got here. Roger?
Yep, I'm on the TQ, and I have, boosted the top end on this, essentially following Bob Heil's recommendations. I'm also using a Heil headset with an HC4, which has a rising characteristic in the element. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, what I'm primarily concerned about is that equalizers are made to balance the top to the mid-range and the bottom to the mid-range. And if you push the mid-range, it's so much harder for the top to catch up and the bottom to catch up. So much so that even like the 7300, 7610, they don't even bother putting a mid-range control in their EQ. And I am, a staunch advocate of that. So I would think that what we want to do is make sure that everything from 500 cycles to 1.5K is flat. I don't know, if you have a 3-band EQ or what?
I don't know, if you have a 3-band EQ or what?
Yeah, this EQ has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bands on it, and I can rattle them off for you here. 50 hertz is minus 16, 100 hertz is minus 14, 200 hertz is minus 4, 400 hertz is flat, 800 hertz is plus 2, 1600 hertz is plus 4, 2400 hertz is plus 8, and 3200 hertz is plus 12.
Roger. Now, is just another thought, is that, can you shift the frequency hinge points on those controls, or are they fixed frequencies?
The hinge points on those controls, or are they fixed frequencies?
Yeah, they are fixed frequencies. They're octaves.
Okay, so what I want to do then is make sure everything from 500 cycles to 1.5K are flat. Neither cut nor boost. From 500 cycles to 1.5K flat. Roger?
From 500 cycles to 1.5K flat. Roger?
Okay, what I ended up doing was I changed the 800 hertz from plus 2 to flat. Other than that, the previous one is 400 hertz and the next one is 1600 hertz, so it's outside of that range.
Okay, but 1600 is close enough. I would pull 1600 to flat.
Yeah, 1600 is close enough. I would pull 1600 to flat.
Okay, so 1600 is now flat. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Now, the frequency that you have around 2.7, 2.8, what's your top one?
2.8. What's your top one?
I have one at 2.4 and one at 3.2.
Okay, 3.2 plus 2. 3.2 at plus 2, and let's do a plus 2 at the one just below that.
And let's do a plus 2 at the one just below that.
Yeah, that's going to take quite a bit of that high end out, I'm afraid.
Okay, the thing that is kind of churning around there is something about around 1.5, right in there. It's just low enough to be in the mid-range, and it just sounds a little harried. So, you want to push it a little bit higher than that. Roger, Roger?
You want to push it a little bit higher than that. Roger, Roger?
You're saying to push the mid-range to 1600 hertz a little?
1600, I would make that flat. I would make 1600 flat. Now, the ideal frequency is 2.7. That I have found 2.7 with a width of 4 is the ideal setup for the top end, 2.7. But what I'm doing now is trying to work a curve between the two frequencies that you have on either side of that. Roger?
Frequencies that you have on either side of that, Roger?
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Well, right now the 2.4 and the 3.2 are both at plus 2, and I did have them cranked up higher than that before.
All right, take that, what is it, 2.4, is that it?
Take that, what is it, 2.4, is that it?
Roger, Roger.
All right, take that plus 2 from where it is, additional plus 2 from where it is, and then we'll work on the bottom end.
Where it is. Additional plus 2 from where it is, and then we'll work on the bottom end.
Okay, so the 2.4 is now at plus 4, and the 2.2 is still at plus 2, and then I have the mid-range all set flat, and the bottom end is pretty well just knocked out completely.
All right, so I want you to go to 200 cycles plus 4 from where it is. 200 cycles plus 4 additional from where it is.
200 cycles plus 4 additional from where it is.
Okay, that takes it from a -4 to flat.
Alrighty, and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Alrighty, and tell me about the best thing you like about your radio.
Well, I can tell you the best thing I like about this radio is set up for the North American QSO party for tomorrow.
Just a little bit more, a little bit more audio.
Okay, for sure. This is the most contest radio that I've ever used, and I really enjoy using them that I've ever used, and I really enjoy using the radio. I think Elecraft makes some really good radios. Go ahead.
Yes, sir, I think that's a lot better. You're not so pushed in the upper mids, but you have more syllabic range, which is really where the articulation is. If you start pushing that upper mids too hard, it starts to sound like it's cracking, Roger. And so we've got that pulled back just a little bit and emphasizing more the top end, upper top end of your treble control, which is up in the syllabic range, and that's where your articulation is, Roger.
Range, and that's where your articulation is, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Yeah, I had done this, like I said, based on the curves that Bob Heil had published. What really wasn't talked about there was if I'm already using an HC4 element, which already has a rising characteristic in the high end, and so I figured that on top of the high end. And so I figured that on top of the the default EQ that I had set up in here was probably a little bit too much. Go ahead.
Roger. I would love to have a better signal on you. There's a lightning storm up around Milford at the moment, it sounds like, and so those crashes are forcing your audio level down between the hits. But I think we're doing pretty good, and like I say, we are recording this, and we'll be posting it up on YouTube by noon tomorrow, so just go to YouTube and do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, and that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
Series of 2200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. Roger?
Okay, all right. Well, great. I appreciate that. It'll be nice to essentially be able to hear what my signal sounds like for sure, and be able to also compare it with other stations as well. I listen to this in the headphones through the monitor, but that doesn't really tell me very much. Go ahead.
Roger. Now, keep in mind that I'm copying you on the Milford SDR, and Milford, like most other SDRs, are rolling off the bottom end somewhere around 300 cycles. So, keep that in mind. I've had you up. I've got a chevron on the right side of my screen that shows what audio I'm listening to, and it's showing 4 Internet SDR receivers plus my local receiver, and my local receiver is flat down to 100 cycles, and so I'm in that some of the time, but I don't have a really good signal. There's a spectrum analyzer on the set, and by way of explanation, it has 3 white marks on it. The furthest white mark to the left denotes 100 cycles. The closest right mark is 1 KC, then there's a black space, and then there's another white mark, and that's 4 KC. So it's 100 cycles on the left, and then 1 KC on the right, and then a black mark, which is 2 KC, and then another white mark, which is 4 KC, by way of explanation. Roger?
And then another white mark, which is 4 KC, by way of explanation. Roger?
Roger, thank you. And, and I've been watching your signal on the waterfall here. There's been a lot of QSB on the band, but when you are at your strongest, you're about 10 over 9 here. And I noticed that you have a very clean signal on the waterfall here. I see so many stations on these days that overdrive and splatter.
Roger. Well, we do the best. This is an older Yaesu 990, pretty highly modified. Roger.
Yaesu 990, pretty highly modified. Roger.
Roger. Well, and the waterfall is filled out well, as far as I can tell. I don't have it magnified greatly here, but on the spectral display here, I have it set so I'm seeing a 200 kilohertz slice of the spectrum from 7100 to 7300. So on the external monitor here, your waterfall is probably about 1/3 of an inch across or so. So I don't get to see a lot of detail unless I care to zoom in on it. Go ahead.
Roger that, Dave. I have a 7300 that I have been running occasionally along with the 990, and just for kicks, Roger, just listening to the two. In a lot of ways, my 990 is, I love that, but 7300 is technically probably a little bit better. Although I'm actually, if you're looking at the bandpass on a frequency meter, spectrum analyzer, I almost swear to God that the 7300 is a dB hot on the top end and a dB hot on the bottom end. That's what it's looking like to me.
The dB hot on the bottom end. That's what it's looking like to me.
Yeah, it could be, and like I said, I don't have this thing zoomed in all the way. Typically on signals, I like to get a much better overview of the band in general than to essentially zoom in down. I can zoom into this thing where less than a kilohertz occupies the entire screen.
Roger, Roger. So that's a K3S, is that a Roger?
Roger. So that's a K3S, is that a Roger?
Roger, and the waterfall adapter is the Elecraft K3, Papa 3. And that I actually had obtained with my original K3, but I did upgrade to the K3S. The K3S has a 4-layer main board in it, so it's a much quieter radio all around, both on receive and transmit. There's less birdies in it and less other digital noise and hash that tend to get into the signal. And the Elecraft K3s are what our radio club here uses for field day and a multi-multi system, and we never get any phase noise problems or anything from these radios getting into the other radios at field day. So we've been they've been very good for us for that. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger, Dave. All right, sir. Sounding good. So let me get out of here. Time for me to take a rest. I'll say 73 to you, sir. And again, we'll have this uploaded on YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
We'll have this uploaded on YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. KC9VKV, N8SBE. Have a good weekend.
Roger, Roger, Dave, 73, sir. And with that, I see by the clock on the wall, there's a dead fly. Ooh, we got to get out of here. If you have participated, would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, followed by today's, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording, and we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So we got to get out of here, and we'll be returning this frequency back to normal amateur use. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor, Kilo Victor, clear.